Welcome to Listworthy's explanation of Hide. The story begins with two creepy masked people in a van wrapping paper origami fortune tellers. The scene then quickly changes to the home of a Hispanic lady named Araceli, where she gives her kids very specific instructions to not answer the door or even open it while she is away at work. She leaves her kids in the care of an aunt, and then goes to her babysitting job in an upper-class community, where one neighbor gives her the stink eye as he walks his dog. Inside the house, the parents of the kid Araceli is going to babysit ask her to check in on the room of their aged and ailing relative. They also ask her to not take their daughter Gracie out for a walk in the evening, as there have been a lot of disturbing break-ins in the neighborhood of late. When her bosses leave, Araceli looks for the little girl, Gracie, and finds her clumsily hiding under a blanket. The girl asks to play hide and seek, but Araceli tells the autistic little girl that they can play after she has her snack. The girl obeys Araceli and follows her downstairs. As Araceli is fixing the little girl a snack, the little girl finds a lighter in the living room and starts to play with it. When Araceli sees her playing with fire, she quickly snatches the lighter away. But this makes the little girl unhappy, and she starts to scream her head off. Araceli, although clearly frustrated, is able to patiently and compassionately calm the child down. Later, as she is cleaning up the dishes, the doorbell rings. But when she goes to check who it is, there is nobody at the door. When night falls, she goes to check on Gracie's bedridden grandfather. While she checks on him, Gracie is momentarily left alone in the living room. Instead of the doorbell ringing, there is a knock at the door, which Gracie goes to check out. When Araceli comes back into the living room, she finds Gracie holding a piece of candy which she knows she didn't give her. When she asks where Gracie got the candy, Gracie doesn't give her an answer. Araceli then immediately notices that the front door is wide open. Before she can close it, a hooded figure in a scary mask walks through the door. Araceli screams and tries to grab Gracie so they can run and hide, but Gracie resists her nanny, not fully grasping the danger they are both in. Araceli drags her along. When she looks out the window, she spots the second masked figure and runs off into the bedroom. With Gracie still screaming, it makes it impossible to hide effectively, so Araceli tries desperately to calm her down. Downstairs, the two masked figures giggle at the terror they have created, and they take their time in selecting their murder and torture weapons using a paper fortune teller. They land on Skewer, and Yellowhood selects the knife for the job. Yellowhood then goes into the room of the elderly bedridden man. Meanwhile upstairs, Gracie continues to scream and cry, leaving Araceli at her wit's end. Araceli tries to get a neighbor's attention by hitting the glass window and shouting for help, but he can't hear her. Downstairs, Red Hood's fortune teller lands on Crush, and he selects the weapon for the job. Upstairs, Araceli manages to get the neighbor's attention, but he doesn't seem to care, and he walks back into his house. Through the baby monitor, Araceli then hears as the elderly man she was caring for is brutally stabbed to death by Yellowhood. Struck by inspiration, Araceli tells Gracie to hide, which immediately gets the girl to stop screaming. Gracie runs off to go hide, but as Araceli is about to follow her out the bedroom, she is hit over the head by Red Hood and falls to the floor. Still, Araceli manages to crawl into another room and close the door behind her. It becomes clear that Red Hood is toying with her when he lets her get away. Yellowhood then joins Red Hood and shows off the ring taken off the murdered elderly man as a trophy. The two then hear Gracie's giggling coming from one of the rooms, and Yellowhood follows the sound. Yellowhood finds Gracie on her bed, hiding under her blanket and playfully laughing. Yellowhood taps her head and then retreats from the room. Meanwhile, Red Hood searches for Araceli in the closet she crawled into, and doesn't see her hiding among the hangers. Overconfident, Red Hood doesn't see it coming, when Araceli ambushes him and stabs him to death from behind. Downstairs, Yellowhood again uses the fortune teller to decide how to kill Gracie, and lands on improvise. So she goes around the house to look for things she can use to kill Gracie. She finds a can of peanut oil in the kitchen and uses it to make a blowtorch. When she goes back for Gracie, and pulls the blanket off her, she only finds a stuffed toy under it. Before Yellowhood can even begin to wonder where the kid went off to, a hiding Araceli stabs her foot from under the bed. Yellowhood falls down to the ground. Araceli crawls out from under the bed, and then proceeds to brutally kick Yellowhood to death, while crying. With both intruders dead, Araceli then looks for Gracie, who turned out to be hiding in the laundry basket. Araceli tearfully smiles at Gracie, who still didn't realize the very real danger they had been in. Sometime later, both nanny and child walk out of the house, when the police finally arrive on the scene. Days later, Araceli is at her house, and learns from the news that the two wannabe killers she took down were local teenagers. The teens hated their boring, monotonous rich community, and wanted to spread terror, hoping to gain some notoriety and inspire other psychos to kill in other neighborhoods. As Araceli watches the news, A knock comes at her door. Through the peephole, she sees that it is the police. Being an illegal immigrant, Araceli fears deportation, so she keeps the door closed and tells her kids to hide. The end. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please reward the channel by subscribing and leaving a like.